Hello everybody, this is Greg Smith and I'm going to do a second video on how to play Night Fighter Ace, Interceptor Ace. This is the fighter versus fighter part, which I didn't cover in the first video. And it's sort of a departure from Night Fighter Ace, so I thought I'd cover it. It's something new, more or less. Alright, so we're going to assume here that on chart B1 interception, we're going to roll a 3. And that gives us a P-47 fighter encounter head-on. If we roll, and this is instead of bumping into the B-17s. So we've bumped into a fighter sweep. And of course, we're in a group. So it isn't literally just you against one aircraft. There's a dogfight going on. But this is the aircraft you're tangling with. So you're head-on to start. I have options. Well, first off, I don't want to suck up a 12 chart to the face here. So I'm going to go defensive to begin with. Even though we're head on, I could shoot. I do have the option to start defensive, and I will. The AI or the enemy fighters will always shoot if they can. So he's going to shoot. I'm going to go defensive. So he flips a card to shoot. And what did he do? 12 chart, 3 hits, 3 random hits. Combat is always considered to be medium range. There's no modifiers for fighter versus fighter. So I'm going to take 3 random hits, but I chose to go defensive. Now I could have done a standard maneuver, either a tight turn to improve by 1 or a barrel roll to avoid 2 hits, but I just decided I'll go with a card. So his card, he used the firepower section. My card, I'm going to use the defense, the text part, which says, evasives, avoid all damage. All right, I'm a genius. That worked out. Now, that's the end of the first round of combat, except for at the end of each round of combat, you roll initiative. And basically, this is how maneuvering sets you up. Do you gain any advantage on the other fighter during this period? He's a speed 21. I'm a speed 20. So he gets +1, but I'm got my methanol water boost, power boost. So that adds a point. So it's 1 to 1, 21, 21. So it's straight up, basically die roll. So I'll be the red die. And 2 to 4 is a net differential of 2 in his favor, which is not quite enough to change. So we're still considered head-on for purposes of fighting. Round 2. I do have a wingman, but I'm not going to use them. Wingmen are better once they get become an expert in their particular series of aircraft, because then they can draw 2 cards and choose the one they want. Or if they don't like the first one, then they can use the second one. They have to use the second one. However, we'll do that in a bit. But actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll call on my wingman to help me. So this guy's going to shoot again. 5 random hits. That's going to leave a mark. And wingman. And so the wingman pulls his own card. My wingman says that because of his maneuvering, he distracted him or whatever. He gains an improvement for me, 1 position. So I'm going to go like this. Improve by 1. Wait, wrong way. I improved by 1, which means I'm advantaged on him yet. But I still have to suck up the 5 damage first. So I'm going to take 5 hits. So that's going to hurt. So let's just do the 5 hits. 66. Well, this may not, video may not last very long. That is a fuel tank hit. Sorry. All right, so let's roll to blow up. And I rolled a 7. My fuel tanks are leaking. But you know what? That's better than being blown up. So I'll take that. I got 4 more hits. The way I like to do that is I take all 5 damage markers and put them as I go. All right, 25. The second hit I'm rolling on chart B6 is a port engine, which is just engine. However, because of the big radial engine, the first engine hit actually goes on this block called engine armor. It isn't really armor. It just means it can take a little bit of a beating before you care. Third hit, 64 forward weapons. Great. Okay, so all my forward weapons have been knocked out. Next hit. 51 tail hit. All right, not too much of a problem. I can take 3 tail hits before I fall out of the sky. And a 36 for the last one. Controls. That's bad. Because a controls hit, well, I can only take 2 before I die. If it was a BF-109, control hits also make you lose your agility, which agility helps you here. Also helps you in turning, but the bottom line is I gained a position, but my fuel tanks are leaking. This is not good. This was not good. All right, end of turn. Still straight up. The end of turn initiative roll that happens at the end of each round of combat after you flip the cards. 51. Well, 5 for me, 1 for him is a net differential of +4. So now I'm actually tailing him. So notice you can actually improve your position twice during a round of combat. Once during card play or defensive offensive moves, and then you could also improve again at the end of the round when you do the initiative roll. That happens at the end of every round. And there's modifiers based on good or bad things, like if you're an ace or if your engine's damaged, you get a negative modifier, that kind of stuff. So now I'm tailing him. So what the heck? I'm in it now. I'm going to shoot. So I'm on the 12 chart. 6 + 4 + 2 is 12. Assuming none of them jam, I expend ammo and I shoot. I do a group package on him. All right, so that's good. Group damage is always considered, the aim point is always considered airframe on fighter versus fighter combat. The gunner result, which would be his rear gunner, is no effect in fighters. Even if it is the type of fighter that has a rear gunner, such as the BF-110. So that's a no effect, but he takes a controls hit, an airframe hit, and 2 randoms. However, he does get the defendants. Oh, and he gets a bonus free tail hit because I'm tailing him. However, he gets a chance to defend himself, and he says his card flip is avoid all damage. Okay, well that was fun. End of turn. Straight up rolls. He's 6 to my 4. He gets a +2, but +2 isn't enough to improve his position. He needs to be 3 or higher. So I'm still on his tail. He did not take the bonus free tail hit because he took no damage. Because he flipped an awesome defense card. Great. All right, well I'm going to shoot him again. So burn ammo and 12 chart. Oh, DE. If he gets a card that prevents random damage, he's still dead. However, if he gets a card like the last one, prevents all damage, then he's not still dead. So we flip for him. He avoids one hit and the encounter ends. Okay, so avoiding one hit does him no good against a DE card. I just shot him down. And that is, so at this point, I can engage a new fighter. Or I can break off because I'm currently open, unengaged. I can continue on the mission, go to the next box, and try to find the bombers. But in my particular situation, with all this damage, I'm going to head back to the barn. So I'm just going to abort, jump ahead to landing, roll for landing, which is, well, actually, yeah, I'll be fine. Well, I have to roll like a 13 to screw this up and roll a 7, so the landing's fine. And so that's my first sortie. Or that would be the end of the sortie. But that's a quick look at how fighter versus fighter combat works. It's and again, I never really used the standard maneuvers, which you can do. Instead of drawing a card, you can just say, hey, I'm going to do a tight turn. This is actually pretty good for BF 109s because with Agile, they can actually improve by 2 instead of just 1. And why would you want to do a barrel roll to just avoid 2 hits? Well, if you have a big advantage, let's say you've hit his damaged his engine, or you've wounded him also, he's going to get big minuses at this end of turn improvement. So you might want to just use a barrel roll to avoid some damage and then depend on the end of turn initiative roll to actually maneuver on him. But there's different strategies to use and different decisions. Thank you much for watching.